Good morning, students. Continuation of Unit 3 Accountancy, page number 40. So, in the previous classes, we saw the approaches of recording transaction. There are two approaches of recording the transaction. One is accounting equation approach, okay, and the next one is traditional approach. So we have worked out so many problems under the accounting equation approach. Okay. Now we'll see how to work out the journal entries under the traditional approach. Page number 47. Now in this traditional approach, you will prepare journal entry. Okay. Now, in this approach, a twofold aspects, debit and credit, in each transactions are recorded in the journal by following double entry system. So, you prepare a journal, and in that journal, you have two aspects, a debit aspect and a credit aspect. Okay. Now, for this purpose, you have to classify the accounts into personal and impersonal accounts. Okay. I'll tell you one example. Suppose you are purchasing a machinery. What happens? What is coming into the business? Machine is coming in worth rupees 10,000. Okay. So machine is coming in. What is going out? Cash is going out. Okay. There are two accounts. So machine account, you debit 10,000, and cash account you give a credit entry 10,000. Okay. Now under for the purpose of entering the transaction in the journal, we have to classify the accounts into personal account and impersonal account. Personal account and impersonal account. So we'll see the classification accounts. The accounts are classified into personal account and impersonal account. Personal account means accounts opened in the name of a person. We call it as personal account. Okay. Say for example, if almost everyone will be having your savings bank account. You have an account with any bank. So that is a personal account. Similarly, in an organization also, the owner brings in capital to the business. So a separate account, capital account will be opened for that particular person who brings in the capital. So that is a personal account. Okay. Ram's account, Vinod's account, Sam's account, Sampath's account, everything. If the account is opened in the name of the individual, we call it as a personal account. Now this personal account can be further classified as natural personal account, artificial personal account, and representative personal account. Now natural person's account means, I told you, if you open an account in the name of the individual, we call it as natural person, human beings. Okay. Artificial person account means an institution. If you open an account in the name of an institution, we call it as an artificial person. Example, Reserve Bank of India account, RBI account, okay, LIC account, or bank account, or Bell account. Okay, that we call it as artificial person. Representative person. Say for example, you have the company is supposed to pay salary, okay, to the employees, but it has not yet paid the salary to the employees. That means the salary is still outstanding. So outstanding salary, though it is not paid, it has to be paid to an individual. Okay. So that is why we categorize it as representative personal account. So salary outstanding and prepaid rent are categorized into representative personal account. Okay. So classification of account, I told you the accounts are classified into personal account and impersonal account. Personal account are natural person, artificial person, and representative person account. Next, impersonal account. Impersonal account means anything which do not affect the person, okay, All the real accounts and nominal accounts comes under the impersonal account. So impersonal account can be further classified into real account and nominal account. Real account means all the assets falls under the real account. Okay, and nominal account means all the expenses and incomes comes under the nominal account. Now, real account, I told you real account means all the assets. Okay, so all accounts relating to tangible and intangible properties and possessions are called real account. Tangible means something which can be seen, felt, which has the physical existence. We call it as tangible account or asset. Okay, so these includes the accounts of properties and possessions which can be seen and touched. They have physical existence. Example, plant and machinery, building, furniture, stock. Intangible real account means something which cannot be seen or felt. Example, the goodwill of the firm, the good name, the reputation of the firm. Okay, it cannot be seen or it cannot be felt, but it has some value. The patent and copyrights also is an intangible real asset. Next is nominal account. All the expenses and incomes comes under the nominal account. Okay, now example, salary, it is an expense. You have to pay the salary to the employees, so it comes under the nominal account. Wages is an expense. Rental income, all the expense and incomes comes under the nominal account. Interest, if you receive any interest on some deposits, it is an income, it comes under the nominal account. They are the temporary account and are transferred to trading and profit and loss account depending on whether there is these are direct or indirect respectively. Okay, now what are the classification of accounts we saw? Accounts are classified into personal account and impersonal account. Personal account means the accounts in the name of the individual, we call it as natural person. Artificial means institutions like banks, LIC, RBI, all that comes under artificial person. Representative person means outstanding salary, prepaid insurance, all that comes under the representative person. Now, this impersonal account are classified into real account and nominal account. Real account means all the assets and nominal account means all the expenses and incomes. Okay. Now, this real account can further be classified into tangible and intangible. Tangible means something which can be seen, touched, or which has some physical existence like machinery, furniture, fan, light, table, all that. Intangible, the goodwill, patent right, copyright of the company, we call it as intangible, which cannot be seen but still it has some value. Okay. We'll see the accounting rules. This is very, very important. Only if you know this thoroughly, it will be easy for you to prepare the journal entries. Okay. Now, we have seen the various types of account: personal account, real account and nominal account. Now, what is the rule for personal account? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. That is, the receiver, whoever is receiving the benefit, that person's account you will debit, and whoever is giving the credit, that person's account you will credit. The giver's account you will credit. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay. Who is receiving the benefit, that person's account you will debit. Credit the giver means who is giving the benefit, that person's account you will credit. Okay, hope it is clear. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Okay, real account, if the asset is coming into the business, you debit. If cash is coming into the business, you debit cash. If the asset is coming into the business, you debit cash. You debit asset. Credit what goes out. If cash is going out, you credit cash. If asset is going out, if the sale happens, asset is going out, you credit the asset account. Okay. Now, next, nominal account. Nominal account, if it is an expense, you debit it. If it is a income, you credit it. Okay. So, this part is very, very important. what is the golden rule for accounting for 3 marks and 2 marks. I want you to write this part, the same pattern in your classwork neatly and learn it by heart. Okay. So personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Nominal account, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Okay, without seeing, you should by heart this. Okay. Next, we'll see illustration 7. Classify the following into personal, real and nominal account. Okay. First one is capital. Capital means what type of account it is. You open a capital account in the name of the person. The person, one individual brings the capital to the business. Okay. So in that person's account, Ram's capital account, Mohan's capital account. So in a person's name only you are opening the capital account. So it is a personal account. So capital account is a personal account. Okay. Next, buildings. Buildings is an asset. So all asset can be grouped into real account. Carriage inwards. Carriage inwards means you are giving some amount for carriage for bringing the raw materials to the factory. Okay. So you are bringing the goods, raw material to the factory for which you are paying the carriage. Okay. That amount, it is an expense for you. So that expense, all expense will be categorized into nominal account. Next, cash. Cash is an asset. So all assets grouped under real account. Okay. Next, commission received. You are receiving some commission. So all the transaction you will analyze from the business point of view. Okay. So when the business receives some commission, it is an income. All incomes will be categorized in nominal account. Bank. Bank, I told you, it is a representative person. Representative personal account. So it comes under personal account. So you write personal account, or you can also write representative personal account. Okay. Purchases. When you purchase something, you are paying. You are making the payment. So cash is going out. So it is an expense. So you group it under the nominal account. Chandru. Chandru is the name of a person. You are opening a personal account. Outstanding wages. Outstanding wages is this bank, no? Bank is artificial personal account, not representative. It is artificial personal account. And outstanding wages is representative personal account. So which you can write either representative personal account or personal account. Okay. Now, we'll see the meaning of journal. Okay. Now, the word journal has been derived from the French word jour, which means day. So, which means day. So, journal means daily. Daily transaction you will record in the books of account called journal. Okay. Transactions are recorded daily in the journal as and when the transaction takes place. So, as soon as a transaction takes place, its debit and credit aspects are analyzed and recorded in the journal together with a short description called narration. So immediately when the transaction happens, you make an entry in the book called journal, and you also give a small details about the transaction. That is known as narration. Okay, the description about the transaction. We give, say for example, you are making a purchase of an furniture. So the entry will be what is coming in? Furniture. So furniture account, asset is coming in, furniture account, debtor, debit. Okay, what is coming in? Debit. To what is going out? Cash. Cash is going out. So to cash account. Okay, so you will give a small description like purchase of furniture. Okay, So this is a journal entry with a small description called narration. Now here what is coming in? Furniture, so you debit furniture. What is going out? Cash, so you credit cash. We'll see in detail later. Just for the time being, understand the how the journal entries will look like. Okay. Now this facilitates making the entries in the ledger. Since the transactions are first recorded in journal, it is called the book of original entry or prime entry or primary entry or preliminary entry or first entry. This is very important for 1 mark question. Okay, so journal is also called as the books of prime entry, primary entry, preliminary entry or first entry. They may ask anyway. Okay. Journalizing is the beginning of the accounting process for financial transaction. 1 mark question. Now, meaning of journal. Journal is a book of original entry in which the business transactions are recorded in chronological order, meaning date-wise in the order of, in the sequence from 1st to 31st. Date-wise the transactions are recorded. Okay, that is in the order of occurrence. Transactions are recorded for the first time in the journal. Entries are made in the journal based on the source document. Okay, so from here till here you will write the meaning. If they ask the meaning of journal, you will write till here. Now from where do they get the entries? From on seeing the source document like invoice, bills. On seeing that only they will record the entries in the journal. Record of business transaction in the journal is known as journal entry. Okay, the process of recording the transaction in the books of journal is called as journal entry. The process of recording the transaction in the journal is called journalizing. Okay, so this, what is journalizing? They may ask for 2 mark. What is journalizing? You have to write this. Okay, according to Professor Carter, a journal is a journal as originally used is a book of prime entry in which the transactions are copied in order of the date from a memorandum or waste book. The entries as they are copied are classified into debits and credits so as to facilitate their being correctly posted afterwards in the ledger. So from the books of journal, the entries will be carried forward or posted to the ledger. Okay, now see the format of journal. You will write like this: in the books of. Okay, you have date column, particulars column, then you have a LF column. LF means ledger folio. Ledger folio number. Okay, meaning I told you from the journal the entries will be posted to the ledger. So you have to write the page number in which the entries are posted, the page number of the ledger in here. Okay, page number of the ledger will be noted corresponding to the journal entries. Okay, and the debit amount you will enter in the debit column, credit amount you will enter in the credit column. Okay, now this is the format of journal. Now look at the format of the journal. Okay, you will work out the problems like this only. In the books of JSLV, the journal entries, you will write date, particulars, LF, debit and credit. Okay, now looking at the transaction, you will analyze what are the accounts involved and you have to prepare the journal entries. Now whatever is coming in, whatever account you have to debit, you will write cash. You will start from the margin, cash account debtor. Debtor you will write in this end. Okay, DR means debit, the account which has been debited. And just give a space, little space, no? or 1 centimeter or 1.5 centimeter space, then write the account which has to be credited. For writing the accounts to be credited, you will start with 2, the name of the account which has to be credited. Okay, and the credit amount you will write in the credit column. The debit amount you will write in the debit column. Both will be the same only. Okay, for every debit, there will be a corresponding and equal credit based on the concept of double entry system. Now, after writing the journal entry, you will just give a small description about the entry. Okay, and that is called as narration. So, what is narration, they may ask? Okay, the description about the journal entries of the transaction, not the journal entry, description about the transaction, we call it as narration. Next is steps in journalizing. How to do the journal entries. Okay, the process of analyzing the business transaction under the heads of debits and credits and recording them in the journal is called as journalizing. So, what is journalizing? It is a process of analyzing the business transaction. First, whatever transaction is given, you analyze the transaction and you find out what are the accounts involved in the transaction, and you give a debit entry for one account and a credit entry for another account. Okay, so that process is known as journalizing. An entry made in the journal is called as a journal entry. The following steps are to be followed in journalizing. First, analyze the transaction and identify the accounts based on aspects which are involved in the transaction. First, one transaction will be given. You analyze the transaction. Okay, and identify what are the accounts involved in the transaction. Next, classify the accounts under personal account, real account and nominal account. The second step is you should classify which type of account it is, whether it is personal account or a real account or nominal account. Third one, you have to apply the rule of debit and credit. I told you the golden rules, isn't it? For personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Okay, and for real account, debit all expenses, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. And for nominal account, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. You should apply that rule. Okay, and find which account is to be debited and which account is to be credited by application of the rule of double entry system. Next, record the date of transaction in the date column. Enter the name of the account to be debited in the particulars column, very close to the left hand side of a particulars column, followed by the abbreviation DR. So, I told you how to enter the transaction, isn't it? In the next to the margin, you will write the particulars, and on the right side, you will write DR at the end. Okay. Against this, the amount to be debited is entered in the debit amount column. Now, write the name of the account to be credited in the second line starting with the word to. So, the account which has to be credited, you should write in the next line. Just leave 1.5 centimeters of space, then write to, and then write the name of the account which has to be credited. Okay. Then write the narration within the bracket, a small description about the transaction. That's all. Now, different types of journal entries. This particular topic I will take in the last after understanding the journal entries. Okay. Now, next we'll see the application of rules of double entry system. Okay. So, what is the rule for personal account? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. You should be very thorough with this. Okay. Debit the receiver, credit the giver. See here. Now, we'll look at one example. Paid Anbu by check. So, when a transaction is given, what is the first step? You should analyze the transaction and find out what are the accounts involved. Always 2 accounts will be involved. Okay, 2 or 3. Now, paid Anbu by check. What are the accounts involved? Anbu account, and check means it is a bank transaction. So, what are the accounts involved? Anbu and bank. Two accounts involved. Now, Anbu is a personal account. Okay. Bank is a artificial person, that is also a personal account. Now, what is the rule you have to find out? You have identified the transaction, what are the accounts involved, and you have also categorized into personal, real or nominal. Now, next step is apply the rule. What is the rule? For personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. In this example, who is receiving the benefit? Paid Anbu. That means the business is paying 10,000 by check to Anbu. Who is receiving? Anbu. So, debit the receiver. So, Anbu's account you will debit it. So, debit Anbu account. Okay. And who is giving the benefit? Bank. Bank is paying to Anbu. So, bank account, credit the giver. You are going to credit bank account. Okay. Credit bank account. Now, hope it is clear. Let's see once again. Example, paid Anbu 10,000 by check. First of all the transaction you will analyze, or you will see only from the business point of view. Okay. Don't see from your point of view. Paid Anbu 10,000 by check. Okay. Now, what are the accounts involved here? Anbu account and bank account. Next, you have to categorize what is the nature of the account. So, Anbu account is a personal account. Bank account is also a artificial person account. Now, what is the rule for personal account? Debit the receiver, credit the giver. Apply that rule. Okay. Anbu, debit the receiver. Who is the receiver here? Anbu is the receiver. So, debit Anbu's account. And credit the giver. Who is the giver here? The bank. So, credit the bank account. Okay. Now, real account. Real account, what is the golden rule? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Okay. Real account means all the assets comes under the real account. See the example given there. Furniture purchased for cash. What are the two accounts involved? Furniture and cash. Furniture is an asset. Cash is also an asset. So, you have to categorize this as real account. Real account, what is the rule? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. What is coming in? Furniture purchase means furniture is coming into the business. So, debit what comes in. You debit furniture account. Credit what goes out. When you purchase something, you are making the payment in cash. Means cash is going out. So, credit what goes out. Cash account. You credit it. Okay. Hope it is clear. Once again, I repeat. Furniture purchased for cash. What are the two accounts involved? Furniture account and cash account. Furniture is a real account. Cash is also real account. What is the rule for real account? Debit what comes in. Here furniture is coming in. Yes. So, you debit furniture. Okay. Credit what goes out. Which cash is going out. Okay. So, you credit cash. That's all. Okay. Now, next one, nominal account. What is the rule, golden rule for nominal account? Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Okay. Now, see the example here. Paid rent in cash. What are the two accounts involved? Rent account and cash account. Rent, paid rent. It means it is an expense for the business. So, you categorize as nominal account. Okay. Paid rent in cash. Cash is what type of account? It is a real account. So, you have two nature of accounts here. Now, apply the rule for nominal account for rent. Debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Here, rent, you are paying rent. That means it is an expense. Yes. If you are receiving rent, it is an income. You are paying rent, it is an expense. Debit all expenses and losses. That means rent account you debit. Okay. Now, apply the rule for real account for cash, not nominal account rule. Okay. Real account rule, what is the real account rule? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Here cash is going out. You are paying rent. That means cash is going out. Credit what goes out. Debit what comes in. Credit what goes out. So cash you have to credit. So credit cash. Okay. Now see here. Once again I repeat. Paid rent for 5,000 in cash. What are the accounts affected? Rent account and cash account. Okay. So rent is nominal account. Cash is real account. The rule is debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains for nominal account. Apply the rule here. So debit, rent and credit, cash. Okay. Now, today you will go through from page number 47, line by line. So I told you there are two approaches. First one is accounting equation approach. We have worked out so many problems there. Second one is traditional approach. Today I have taught how to prepare the journal entries. The traditional approach, they follow the double entry system concept. For that you should know how the accounts are classified. The accounts are classified into personal and impersonal account. And personal accounts are classified into natural person, artificial person and representative personal account. Impersonal account are classified into real and nominal account. Real account means all assets and nominal account means all expenses and incomes. Now what are the golden rules of double entry system? For the personal account it is debit the receiver, credit the giver. Real account, debit what comes in, credit what goes out. And nominal account, debit all expenses and losses, credit all incomes and gains. Okay. So from page number 47, go through line by line. Okay. You just leave out this part alone. Different types of journal entries I have not taken. Okay. This I will take later on. And till what I have taught today. Page till this. Okay. Page number 53. Till this you have to go through once very thoroughly and write the golden rules of accounting 2 times or 3 times till you get memorized in your rough note and once in your classwork note. Okay.